Tottenham Hotspur beat Nottingham Forest. Chelsea drop big points, important points as they endeavour to get European football away at the worst team in the Premier League, Sheffield United. They crumble at the last minute. Loads to delve into today. Spurs looking great, but Nottingham Forest, were they robbed? James Maddison clearly punching Yates in the stomach, not reviewed by VAR. They claim there was no evidence, even though we've all seen the footage. He should have been sent off. It could have changed the outcome of this game. VAR has had a stinker of a weekend with Palace not getting a penalty yesterday, disallowing a Newcastle goal as an example, Man United's penalty today, and now the James Maddison incident as well. We're going to go through all of it on the Football Terrace with you, but we've got to start with Chelsea. Chelsea who, look, they had an epic result against Manchester United on Thursday evening. 2 goals in 82 seconds. It gave them pride. It gave them excitement. It gave them euphoria. Most Chelsea fans, though, that came on the Football Terrace said, I'm not even really celebrating. I'm not really celebrating because I don't think this marks the change of anything. We'll probably collapse in the next game. What's going to happen? Now, they're away from home, yes, but you're away against the worst team in the league. If you look at if you watch the game with your eyes, Sheffield United were the better team. If you look at the game and then check the statistics, all the major metrics, barring possession, go to Sheffield United. They created the better chances. They were the most dangerous. They took their opportunities better in terms of they had the ball less, but they were far more potent with the way they attacked. Chelsea, a couple of moments of brilliance, got them a couple of goals, but another very, 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 very embarrassing day for Pochettino, for the midfield, for the defense, for absolutely every single individual involved. And again, it was just another one of those games where I just look at Chelsea and think, what are you? How did this happen? You had the game in the bag, you had the result in the bag, but you couldn't see it through. They're a very, very poorly drilled team, so similar to Manchester United, where there are holes all over the pitch. They're actually better at maintaining possession than Manchester United, but still their structure when they lose it is poor. Knowing where to be, covering the right territories and spaces is absolutely abysmal. And then you have more individual poor quality performances from so many individuals, especially that midfield, which is the heart and soul of your team. And some of that is tactical. Some of it, again, so mirror image of Man United. The tactical element is there, but we have it with Bruno and we have it with Casemiro, with what they do on the ball or what they do out of possession. So similar when you watch Chelsea. When you attack them, they look vulnerable. When you attack them, they look as though they're going to collapse at any single moment. But as ever, look, I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions on that. With Tottenham, look, there were some great goals in that second half from Tottenham. There was some wonderful football on display today from Tottenham. I'm not going to take that away from them. I'm not going to deny that in any capacity. They sit in 4th. I think they warrant being 4th over the course of this season. I think they've been excellent for large parts. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. However, I will say this, and I'll echo this, because the way I look at this situation is really quite simple. A decision surrounding James Maddison and whether he should or shouldn't have been sent off was so pivotal and so huge. We all saw the footage. Obviously, I can't play it on the screen, but he clearly punches Yates in the stomach. The commentators watching saw it and said, as soon as they saw it, straight away, without a shadow of a doubt, their reaction was, oh, wow, he punched him in the stomach. He's going to be in trouble here. Just for VAR to turn around and say there was no evidence. How can there not be evidence when we have all seen the footage? You can clearly see him take his arm back and punch Yates in the stomach without a shadow of a doubt. And it doesn't matter if it's open hand, back of the hand, closed fist. It is still against the law of the game. He should have been sent off, there's no doubt. And some people saying, Terry, how can you tell? Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I can tell. I spent the majority of my life in dojos and in fight gyms. So when it comes to somebody with I would even dare to say a professional opinion, I'm telling you, he struck him. He struck him in the stomach. The way the arm went back, the force into the stomach, 100% a punch. Was it a hard punch? Probably not. He's quite a skinny guy. But that is besides the point. Spurs, in that instance, got extremely, extremely lucky because I thought Forest in the first half were every bit as good, especially in the attack. So close on the chances. Again, all the balls with Tottenham, but I think it was 8 to 7 chances each in that first half. Maddison gets sent off. They play with 10 men. It could have been a completely and utterly different game. And I've defended teams this year, all teams, when they've had bad decisions go against them. I've done that for Tottenham at times. I can't sit here and say nothing about a horrendous decision, which is going to have an impact at the bottom of the league, an impact in terms of determining the sort of the who may go up and who may stay down. VAR not getting involved is absolutely 110% horrendous. Terry, you did not say the same thing about Van Dijk choking someone to death. Well, he didn't choke him to death, did he? Because the person didn't die. The fact that you've now exaggerated already puts your argument on the floor. You're ruined. The debate is over. The fact that you lied in your statement, you're out of the argument and conversation already. Agenda is showing. I don't have a Tottenham agenda. I have praised Big Andrew all year. I have praised how good they've been at football. I have commented and pushed back against Spurs fans that have not been entertained by their team. And I'm sitting there going, wow, I thought you guys looked really good. I advocate for Daniel Levy backing this manager in the summer. I love how he plays football. I praised Big Ange Postecoglou about how he's adapted. And I felt that he was a little bit kamikaze in the beginning and he realized what the Premier League can do to you. But he adapted and he manages games much better. I think you're more than deserving of a top 4 space. There is no Spurs agenda. But I just saw one of the best Spurs players out there punch Yates in the stomach. I am not going to sit here and say, it's absolutely fine. If it was the other way around, every Tottenham fan worth their salt would be calling for a red card, and I would have your back on that 1,010%. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. You guys know I would do that. You know my agenda is VAR doing its job properly. We have seen a dive in a big Manchester United-Liverpool derby. We saw a penalty denied for Crystal Palace yesterday. We saw a rightful goal for Newcastle disallowed for absolutely no reason. And we call all these things out. Every single fan of football should come together to do this because we need better officiating. We need them not deciding on, it's a big game or, it might impact this, it might impact that. No, referee by the letter of the law. You can't be going around punching people in the stomach. You simply can't do it. You simply can't do it. This here says, then why won't you speak about the foul on Lo Celso, which should be a red card? So that foul on Lo Celso, let's talk about it. It wasn't a challenge for the ball. It was a clearance and it was a follow through on the leg. The precedent on this was set a couple of years ago in West Ham versus Chelsea, where a West Ham player had possession of the ball and cleared it. And as his leg swung up, it caught a Chelsea player pretty high on the shin. VAR reviewed it and he was sent off. It was appealed and rescinded and an apology came out because in shooting or when you're in full possession of the ball and you clear it, the follow through of the leg isn't classified as a challenge. Therefore, it is not deemed a red card offence. So I understand why you would say that, but the precedent on that has already been set. And I've defended those circumstances in other games. Absolutely. But nice try. So, Bruno shouldn't have been on the pitch first half, a dive, hand to the ref, and a foul in the second half. Okay, shouldn't have been on the pitch 80 minutes. I mean, what are you talking about, Andrew? There's no point in that game. Was any Liverpool fan anywhere? Nobody was talking about Bruno Fernandez should have been sent off. What are you talking about? So I respect the super chat, I really do, but I absolutely have no idea what you're talking about. Jerome here says, Forest robbed what on earth? Yes. I mean, listen, James Maddison should have seen red. He punched someone in the stomach in the first half. Game was at 1-1. We cannot sit here and pretend that you may have won the game still, But let's not pretend that red cards don't change games dramatically, especially with how Spurs play football. So for me, the fact that wasn't given, the fact they said no evidence when I can't play the evidence because I'll get copyright striked and there's none of it in slow-mo yet. But you clearly see him turn around. You see the arm come back and he punches him in the stomach. You know, Jerome, I'm fair because you've watched me long enough. We have to call this out. Madders inherited that Harry Kane plot armor. Forest robbed. Don makes me laugh. We deserve to win, and Yates deserved a red, not Maddison. I said your football was great. I said you deserved the win in terms of the play, but we can't ignore that. So Yates deserved the red because Maddison punched him in the stomach. Please break that down for me, Ange Ball. Please make that make sense. Romero got sent off for the same follow-through. No, he didn't, because Romero didn't have control of the ball. He was challenging to win possession of the ball. There is a fundamental difference in that, my friend. We discussed that at the time, but thank you very much indeed. What I will say about Tottenham today, Micky van der Ven. I mean, I liked his overall performance. His goal was absolutely out of this world. I'm such a fan of him as a centre-back. I think that there's all talk about signings of the season. Who could it be? I don't think it will be Micky van der Ven due to the time he's had out with injury, but he's one of the signings of the season. What an impeccable piece of business, an amazing strike from him. And look, the red card didn't happen. Spurs in the moment can't dwell on that, and they didn't. And they went on and they dominated the second half. And I think Micky van der Ven was an absolute testament to how good Spurs were in their general play. And I'm not going to not talk about the general play just because of the red card that should have happened. And I thought Micky van der Ven, absolutely impeccable. Absolutely impeccable in terms of what he did today. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions. Terry, Virgil van Dijk choked a Sheffield player, yet you are here. But what did I say about that choking? Did you watch what I said? Did you watch what I said on Straight Facts about it? I said, I know he didn't grab him that hard, and I know there wasn't that much force. But I turned around and said it should have been a red. You know that if that was Casemiro, they'd have sent him off. So again, watch my content, watch what I say, and then come back. So again, you're challenging me on something that I've already agreed with you on. Jerome here says, I still cannot believe Liverpool drew and now open the door to Arsenal winning the league, even if they deserve to win the title, as Arsenal have been playing brilliantly. Can't believe I wrote this. Well, Jerome, that's because you're an honest man. Just like myself, you say things as you see them. You have no agendas, etc., etc., etc. I want to know what guests are coming on this show. I don't even know who's coming on. 1 second. If anyone. I don't know where people are at. Hopefully they've been sent the right link by KJ. Maybe they haven't been. I don't know. This year, Enzo Fernandez got loud in Mount's face after Palmer carried him to a win, only to drop a disaster class next game against the worst team in the league. Not enough conversations have happened about Enzo Fernandez. I think you definitely can look at the system. You can definitely look at the coaching and drills. I think that's a part of it. But his general play in possession is so average. I was watching him today, £100 million player. He looks so bang average. And I do think there's an element here when it comes to Enzo Fernandez where he's being damaged. Individually, he is being damaged due to how bad things are at Chelsea. Similarly to how I've seen players at Man United damaged, I think he's going through it. I really, really do. So I think a better coach and a better system and better quality players around him will help. But yeah, he's been absolutely horrendous. He's been horrendous. Yates was telling the referee to look at VAR already on a yellow card. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So he's on a yellow card, yes, but asking the referee to check VAR is not a bookable offence. If he was screaming in the ref's face, swearing at him, going crazy, then you'd have an argument. But Yates is allowed to ask the referee to do that. In my personal, and I want to check one thing actually, because I might be wrong. But it's Joe Worrell. I mean, I didn't know if he was the captain or not. I wanted to check. It's Joe Worrell that is. You're allowed to ask the referee that question. That isn't a bookable offence, in my opinion. Chelsea are Robin Hood FC. Poch out. Enzo and Caicedo were pathetic, is what Daniel has got to say here. Terry, what's your opinion on Rodri getting a new contract extension? He deserves 300k per week. He has been carrying us all season. Look, Rodri getting a new contract is a no-brainer. You can't sign Declan Rice. Who else are you going to get? This is good. I don't think that's attainable. You've got to keep him. You've got to give him the money. There's no doubt. Low-key here says, it's wild how Liverpool didn't beat United. I'm still wondering how. Me too, mate. I'm not going to lie. I'm still wondering the same thing. Sitting here, there's no doubt. You get a yellow card, Terry, for telling the ref to go and watch VAR. You don't. You really do. You don't get a yellow card for asking the referee questions. You get a yellow card for how you talk. It's like an attitude test. How you talk to the referee. Are you being sarcastic? Are you being aggressive? Are you swearing at him? Are you being nasty? Saying, ref, someone punched me in the stomach, can you go and check VAR, is not a bookable offense. And I watched the footage. You can see it's on my Twitter. You watch the footage of him talking to the ref. There's nothing about Yates that warrants a second yellow card. And what I'm going to say is this: Spurs fans trying to deflect by saying, well, Yates, for asking the ref to check, should have been sent off, is one of the biggest and most craziest deflections I've ever seen in my life. Your player, just admit the truth. We caught a bit of life here because Maddison punched someone in the stomach. Just admit it. We all saw the footage. You can't deny it, my friend. You can't. That's why Bruno never gets booked for dissent, even though he's always moaning. But this is the point. Most people don't get booked for dissent, which is why I think someone politely asking the referee a question would have been crazy to have booked him. Terry, I don't understand VAR anymore. Rodri sent off when he grabbed Gibbs White's neck. Van Dijk escapes red. I agree completely. But at the same time, you should have conceded the penalty yesterday for smashing through the back of Eze. 2.5 hours later, a Newcastle player very lightly touches a Fulham player. I think it was Bassi in the back. They have a goal disallowed. Zero consistency. But as football fans, we only choose to call it out when it impacts us. And that is a disgrace on us. We as fans are accountable for how bad the refs are because we do nothing tangible to stop it. These Spurs fans are absolutely shameless. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how they're out here acting like, I can't believe people are saying, what did Maddison do? I didn't see anything. We've all seen the footage. Let's not lie. Let us not lie in relation to that. I'm going to check where people are at because maybe we shared the wrong link. I'm going to check to see where man's at. No one's coming. I'm going to end the stream early. I'll go home and get some sleep. I just want to check that KJ actually put the right one in. Sometimes you might have put the Man United one in by mistake. I don't know. You might have put the Man United one in from earlier by mistake and people are all sitting there backstage. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if everybody's sitting backstage waiting for the wrong one? Let me just check that it is the right one. I'm sure it is. KJ wouldn't do that. No, he has put the right one in. So I don't know where these men are at. They need to get their backsides here because if not, I'm going to finish the super chats and go. I'm going to share it with a few other people. Maybe people haven't been sent it. Bear with me a second. Has KJ not done his job today? I don't know. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. Okay, Deo's backstage, but where's the Spurs fans at? Where's the Chelsea fans at? Where you been? So I'm going to share the link now with a few other people personally. Just hopefully they'll see it then. Maybe they just haven't checked. Because normally they're backstage by now because I'm ready to bring them in and I'm not here. I don't know where they are. KJ is getting fired. No, he's not. No, he is not. He can't be fired. He's a partner of the Football Terrace. We gave him equity as a bonus, so he can't be fired. It's what I do for my employees. You will not find, I guarantee you can't find another YouTuber in the football space who has given a bonus to their member of staff to make them a part owner in their channel. I guarantee you can't find anyone who's done that. Guarantee you can't. But I'm a bad guy. KJ living that married life now. You're no longer the boss. That's true. That's very true. A style of play, Terry, it's called chaos ball. Oh, Man United, 110%. It's pure, unadulterated chaos. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. It's an absolute madness out there. Commentary said it's a bookable offense to tell the ref to go to VAR. Yeah, but look, it is a book. Okay. So there are certain things in football you could argue are bookable offences. But the problem that you have, Ultra, is every single time a player concedes a foul, 99 times out of 100, you see the player go, F off, ref, no way. If we booked every single player every time, 10 players a game get sent off across both teams. So the point I'm making is this. Spurs fans deflecting about Maddison punching somebody by saying Yates should have also been sent off because he told the ref to go check it. It's a crazy deflection. And that's just what I'm going to do for argument's sake. I agree then. Second yellow card should have been given. Talk to me about Maddison's punch. Why are none of you commenting on the punch? Why are you talking about Yates and his second yellow? Talk about the punch. Tell me why it wasn't a red. Come on, be men here. I know you're a man. You might be a woman. Be a grown-up. Be a man. Be a woman. Speak on it honestly. Come on now. Maddison did nothing wrong. Plus, Jamie Redknapp said it was never a red card for Maddison. This is crazy. By the way, I blame Klopp, Salah, Diaz for bottling 3 titles. Can't wait until they leave. Andrew, that is one of the craziest comments I have ever seen. Genuinely crazy on every single level. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know where these Chelsea guys are. They're annoying me. And KJ's annoying me because I'm messaging. I don't know what's going on. I should have asked for an update earlier on, but I didn't. So I need to know where these men are at. Bear with me a second while I start sending the link out myself. What is it? What is the expression? Can't find the staff. Right. I don't know where everybody is, but anyway. Yeah, I think that's a crazy comment to make. Is he really a Liverpool fan? I don't think so. Where is Don? I want to hear more Enzo hype. That's all I was looking forward to speaking to today, but he's not here. He's not here on the show, so it's hard to speak. I'm going to bring the people that are backstage to give us their views and opinions. Dio's here. Stragsball Steve, Spurs fan, young Daniel is here with us. I don't know if everyone's here yet. I can't see their faces. There we go. That's how I know they're here. Young Daniel, big win for you today. You go 4th in the league. Talk to me.
I wasn't happy again with the performance. I think we sometimes, it's like through periods. We play through periods sometimes. Sometimes we'll be struggling to break spaces. And then that second half, we become prime Barcelona. And that second half, we're a completely different team than the first half. Once they got their chance that they scored off of, we completely dropped off. And we can't be having those drop-offs because if you look at the amount of form the teams are about to play, we're about to go to playing Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea in the same running. If we have those little periods where we start slipping, those teams are not going to forgive us. Maybe Chelsea because they're shit, but those other teams are not going to forgive us. So we have to fix that period of play that we start being sloppy, and we defensively from crosses. I don't know what's going on. It's not even only corners. If you look at it, whenever the ball's in the air and one of our players has to clear it with a header, all of them just freeze. Porro, when he's the last man, he doesn't know how to defend. When he has a man behind him, he's a lot better defensively. But when he's the last man, he doesn't know what to do. He also freezes. So we just in those areas we need to work on that. But it was a good win today. I mean, we are now in the top 4. But as I said, I'm not too confident that we're going to stay in that top 4 with the next run in matches that we have. But I'm just happy to get the 3 points, and we're in the top 4 now on goal difference, and it is what it is.
I do need to ask you, because it was a pivotal moment in that first half, right at the end, James Maddison punching Yates in the stomach.
It wasn't a punch.
It certainly was a punch. Why wasn't it a punch?
He was milking it so much. Terry, come on, you have to see that.
But you're not allowed to strike someone in the stomach. It's even if it's open hand, slap in the stomach, a punch in the stomach. Was James Maddison, in your opinion, lucky to stay on the football pitch?
I don't think so. I think it. At the end of the day, he's just turning. He hits him, and it's not even most football players know that just happens on a regular on a corner. When the referee's not looking, they're tugging shirts. It's something soft. It's not even it's like a little hits him on the stomach. Come on. You could tell from a mile away that he's milking that. Even the referee knew he's milking that.
But that's two different things. Milking a punch and then
it's not a punch. It's not a punch.
Thing.
It's not a punch. It's like a soft strike. It's not a punch at all.
But you're not allowed to strike people though. So the thing is, if you strike, no, hold on. If you strike someone and they milk it, the point is, let's assume that he didn't even make any gestures, and then the player just acts like he got hit in the stomach. Now that's you faking it, right? But the fact that I touch you, if I touch you and you milk it, I touched you in the first place. The first question is, why am I touching you? Like, why am I giving you a reason to milk anything? Is what I'm saying. It's like that's
so. So if somebody taps someone on the shoulder to like let them know something, and then they just fall to the ground.
That wasn't a tap.
Wait, Dan.
That wasn't
say that again.
You said touch. You said touch.
No. Say that again. What did you say?
We've gotten so soft as a sport.
No,
We've gotten
say
so
it
soft.
again.
We have to understand that they were going through like a situation. Them two players were talking the whole game. Yates was fouling Maddison the whole game as well. So let's not act like Yates was some like angel. No, he was talking to him the whole match. He just turned around and it was a little bit like get off of me type thing. It was like get off of me, and Yates just goes to the ground like a 4-year-old.
But he doesn't do what you just said, did he? You just did this notion of get off of me. Now I'm someone that grew up in gyms. I've seen all types of punches, kicks, and strikes. He pulls his arm back and he throws it into his stomach. It's a little uppercut into the stomach. Now I'm not saying he punched him like Anthony Joshua, because James Maddison is a very skinny man. I'm sure there's not much power in his punches, but he is skinny. He's not a big man, is he? He's not a big geezer.
I don't know. I'd back him in a fight.
Against what, a footballer? Why would you back a footballer in a fight? They're not fighters. They're footballers.
He's my guy, James Maddison. Come on, I'll back him in anything. I'll back him.
Am I your guy? Hey, Danny, am I your guy? You backing me in a fight? Exactly.
Strasbourg Steve's another one. Man's skinny. I'm not backing him in a fight. It depends. But anyway, I'm messing. But for you to say that he was trying to get off him, no, he turns back into him and hits him. I think it's. Do you know what, Daniel? I'm going to say this. I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you for not being honest. I'm disappointed in you for not being honest, bro.
Can we talk about the one where he could have gotten a red card? I didn't say nothing about it. Yates could have gotten a red card when he hit him on the knee in the studs. When Romero did it, it was a red card. I actually think it was not a red card. I don't even think it was a foul, because I've already said many times that if you're clearing the ball and you catch a player. But the thing is, what I want to say is in the inconsistencies for Romero's being called a red card and that one being called a red card. What about that one?
I mean, see, look, you can talk about the what ifs and the other ones. What we're saying is, in this situation where a player turns around, now if Maddison had done this, it's not a red card. No, hear what I'm saying. If Maddison had done this and his elbow hit him in the stomach, it's like not even turning to see him. It's just like, hey, boom, kind of thing. You'd be like, maybe he flung his arm and the other player was walking into him and the elbow hit him in the stomach. You can give a reason, but when it's this way, come on, you can't. That impact, regardless of what you say, the fact that his arm was around his stomach. However small the impact is, you then say, well, he's milking it. I mean, you can admit that he did punch him and he was lucky to be on the pitch. People have done crazier things and be lucky to be on the pitch as well. But we can call it off for what it is. We can call it off for what it is. That's all.
I think as well. What I would say is this. Listen, there's an argument. I need to see the challenge again. I think it was on the Celso. But let's just look at it in chronological order. This is the point we're making here. Again, this is what I'm going to say, Daniel. If any of your players ever get punched, you have to come on here and say, well, no red. Yeah. You're not allowed to now come in here and complain about if they get punched.
Well, if they actually get punched, I don't think that's a punch. I think it's just like a, bro, get off of me type thing.
No, if it was Yates doing that motion to Maddison,
he was saying get off me. Do you know what players do when you're saying that? They hit the arm. Get the arm off me. He didn't hit the arm. He hit the stomach. We all saw it. Come on.
They're pushing the stomach. I don't know. In my opinion, it wasn't a punch. I don't know.
Red card.
You do know. Do you think it was a red card, Alan?
Yeah. People saying it was soft, but at the end of the day, he's actually moved his hand like in a punch. He's motioned to punch him. He's caught him. He's hit him in the stomach. For me, it was a red card all day long. I would say the same if it was an Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United game. So I'm just being consistent. It was a red. It was a red. Simple as that. We got lucky today in that game.
I don't know. Maybe I need to see it back.
When you say you got lucky, what do you mean?
Well, we went 1-0 up. We were playing all right, and then all of a sudden we do what we normally do with Spurs and fall apart. Forest dominates for the second half, got the equaliser, and I think it was at 1-0, wasn't it, when that happened? So we got lucky. If that goes the way it should have done with a red card for me, then it was 1-0 down to 10 men. Easily could have lost that game. So I think we were lucky. In the second half, we obviously got our act together. But by that time, we should have been down to 10 men and 1-0. So I'm just being honest. I would say the same thing for any other team. So I'm just being consistent. I don't like this where we protect our own team. But then if it was another team, then Spurs fans would be on here criticising and saying it should be a red card. So you just got to be consistent with it. Red card, and we were lucky. We were lucky to be 1-1 at half time with 11 versus 11.
5 years ago, I don't even think we're having this debate. 5 years ago, I don't even think we're having this discussion.
Oh, but even if that was true,
we're in discussion now because it happened today and it should have been a red card.
Yeah, I was about to say we're in the here and now and not the past. We're talking about something that happened today, not something.
No, I'm saying football's gotten way too soft. Football's gotten way too soft.
The conflating thing. I get it. You're a Spurs fan and whatever.
No, I'm being. If this was any club, I would say it's just a little like okay, push. That can't be a red card, man. That's way too soft. You see, if anything, Yates should get a yellow card for simulation because you can see that he's making the most out of it. Like I don't understand.
That's actually more of a debate there. Maybe you could say that.
But young Daniel, I remember you came on a show last season. Do you remember last season away at Everton?
Sorry. At Everton?
Remember the game away at Everton? I think it was last season. It could have been season 4.
I'd have to see.
So you conceded a very late equaliser, and they went down to 10 men because an Everton player did that in the face of Harry Kane, and Harry Kane went down holding his face. You came on and said, Stonewall penalty, you can't strike someone in the face. You didn't say that Harry Kane needed to be booked
face is different,
for exaggerating it. Well, but the law is the law. Whether it's a chest, stomach, or face, you can't strike anyone. You didn't come on here and say, actually, it's never a red. Harry Kane soft, book him. Why not?
What I said was Harry Kane was milking it, but it's different because in the law, it's different if you strike someone in the face than if you push them off.
There's no difference in the law.
You can't touch someone in the face.
You can't hit someone in the stomach either.
No, but it's a different. Like if you look at the law, if you strike someone in the face,
show me the law. Go and get me show me the law where it differentiates in the face and the body.
I got you.
Show me where it says
that's a law.
Show me where it says you can punch someone in the stomach and not get a red card. Show me that law.
Obviously, that's not a law. That you can't punch them.
It's not
what
I'm
saying is, I don't think it's
you
like
can't raise your hands. You can't raise your hands in the game, whether it's open-handed, back of the hand, or a fist. It doesn't. If you do that to someone's face or you punch them, the punishment is the same. It's a straight red card. The law's always been the same.
What's the terminology? Active aggression or something like that? Like
listen, I get what you guys are saying. I just think maybe I disagree with the law, if anything. Maybe I disagree with the law because I just think that's
Dan, you can disagree with the law, but the law is still the law. If it was a roles reverse, let's just say this happens in the North London derby in a couple of weeks' time, and let's say Odegaard does that to one of our players, you're going to be on here crying for a red card.
Nope,
yes,
never.
You will cry for a red card. You will, mate. You will.
Never.
And I would be asking for a red card in the same aspect because it would be a red card offence.
I wouldn't.
You've got to be consistent with it. You do. I don't see
I didn't think it was. I thought Spurs fans would come on in the comment section on the video going, do you know what? Caught life on that one. I just thought that would be the general reaction. And we've all had our players get away with red cards before. And generally you're like, do you know what?
Yates got away with the red card. He should have gotten sent off by the law.
Why?
Well, because it was literally the same exact thing as the Romero one, but higher. He's literally studs up on his knee. That's a clear red card.
In the game, there was a clearance by the player and he caught Lascelles. So basically the follow through, he angled his leg and caught him on the knee studs wise. I thought that would have, I did say on my watch along, should be consistent with what happened earlier in the season.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from with that. The problem that you have is they don't think it's a red card. Retrospectively, they can't give a yellow. Does that make sense? Because you can't use VAR for a yellow. So knowing that he was already booked and looking at it, I can understand that. But this is the irony in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use the word irony, actually. I'll take that back. This is the bit that I don't like. That's just whataboutery. So, yeah, Yates could have been sent off later in the game. Let's just all sit here and let's not debate and go agreed. That doesn't mean that Maddison shouldn't have been sent off. And if he gets sent off, the game could and would have maybe taken a very different route. And that's why we speak. And how late in the game was Yates' tackle? It was very late, wasn't it?
It was like 80th minute.
Yeah, 80th minute. Again, if Maddison's situation came in the 80th minute when you were 3-1 up, it wouldn't have the same implications as 1-1 at half time. You have to look at these things. You really, really, really have to look at these things in my personal opinion. Kate's here with us. Young Daniel said he wasn't impressed with Spurs today. What did you make of it?
I thought we was a bit slow in the first half, but I thought we kicked in the second half. And, I was I don't care about whether anyone's impressed or not. I just want to get 3 points. However, at this stage of the season, it makes absolutely no difference to me how good we play. But I thought we were decent. It was nice to see the wingers contributing, and yeah, I was quite pleased with the outcome. Good goal from Van der Ven, who's an absolute beaut, and a good goal from Porro. So yeah, I nothing to moan about. But what I come on for was to say that how that's not red, I don't know. We've been dead lucky to get away with it. I mean, Sky is saying it definitely isn't a red. For me, if that was against our player, I would be screaming my head off because you cannot be aggressive and strike another player, whether it was soft or not. You can't be smacking someone in the stomach. It's as easy as that. So I'm sorry, but if you say it ain't a red, you're being completely biased or completely deluded, I'm afraid, because it was a red. I still think we'd have won the game, not going to lie. But we never know. It's one of them things we never know. But I think we had a little stroke of luck there, which we need. Every now and again, you need a little bit of luck. So I'll take it. But there's been some shocking decisions this weekend, by all accounts. So I don't know what the answer is.
See, I completely agree with what you're saying. I think Spurs fans should take it and say, "Yep, we got lucky. We move on." But I think it's the positioning like it isn't a red is crazy. It's like when everyone sees a slow-mo replay of the penalty Man United conceded. When you remove your bias and you look at it, it's like, oh my God, it wasn't a pen. You look at City not conceding a penalty yesterday. You watch it in real time and then in slow motion, you can't smash through the back of someone. We have to be consistent with our views here. No different to last season when Jota studded. I want to say it was not wings.
No, that's different. That's different. You can't just kick someone in the head and then just not get sent off.
You can't punch someone in the stomach either. It's the same thing.
Daniel, you say these things are different.
You can't punch someone in the stomach.
Hang on, Daniel. Let me just respond to what you've said. You're right. A studs showing that high and getting someone in the head is a straight red card. The fact it wasn't given, and as I said back then, is a travesty. Right, let's just take the word punch away because Spurs fans are doing this lawyer bullshit about, we can't quite tell if it was a punch. Let's just say strike. He struck him in the stomach. Let's say it was an open hand. Slapping someone in the stomach is a straight red card. So for me, I just can't help but sit there and think to myself, we need to be consistent as fans. You've got to call it out when your team gets damaged, but ignoring it and trying to twist the laws of the game and pretend that it wasn't a red card because you benefited is crazy to me. We're never going to get consistency that way as football fans. And all we ever cry about is consistency. But then what you're doing, people like yourself, Dan, and there'll be millions more like it today that want the Spurs to win, you're doing a disservice to football and you're protecting these fucking idiots that make decisions. You're protecting them. And I'm telling you now as well why Sky are defending James Maddison. I'm going to say it bluntly. It's because he's English.
I was just going to say that.
Now, it's because the English bias. Certain players get it. Certain players get this English bias from our media.
That was Bruno Fernandez or Romero, they would have been crucified.
When Tony Adams was the England captain, the shit that man could get away with on the football pitch. John Terry, similar. Gerrard.
Shearer kicked Lennon in the face. Shearer
and it wasn't even about just getting away with it with the refs on the pitch. The way the pundits would defend them, you'd sit there and go, what the hell am I listening to? So that's all I'm going to say.
He didn't mean it. He's not that kind of person.
Absolutely crazy that it's being defended to me. I think what Kate said, bang on, caught a bit of life there. Everyone knows it. Red. Sorry, you were going to say something, Faz.
No, I was just going to agree with Kate 100%. At this point of the season, there's 7 games left. All that matters is the 3 points on the wall. Then just take it. Okay, you know what? If I was you, it was a red card. That's this. You won the game. You have 7 games left. You're in a prime position to take 4th spot or 5th spot in the Champions League right now. Again, I'm a United fan. We are screwed. We again, this week, I'm happy with the tie today against Liverpool, but we lost points against Brentford. We lost points against Chelsea. And that's what matters. Again, at the end of the day, that's what matters. At the end of the day, again, we lost our points, and now how far are we from Tottenham? 12 points away. Aston Villa, 12 points, 11 points away. I mean, we're not gonna make it. We're still better than Chelsea. I still think we're better than Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. Hey Don, Enzo Fernandez. Oh God, so the discussion. But again, at this point of the season, take the 3 points. Get Champions League football. Doesn't matter about style.
No, but at the end of the day, you have to talk about it because we're like, as I said earlier, we're about to play. Look at the run of form we're about to go into. If you think we can have those little periods where we fall off against either Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle, you're dumb. We can't have those moments against those teams. So we have to talk about it. You have to talk about it and address it.
Those teams.
Did you watch my watch along, Dan? I said exactly that. If we look, the second half performance was there, but we're becoming second half FC. There was a stat in the last 7 games. Spurs have scored 1 goal in the first half and 12 goals in the second half. That's how lopsided our performances have been. If we play in that first half, if we play in that first half how we did today against Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, we're getting absolutely destroyed 3 or 4 nils across the board. It was that poor. We're not going to get these chances to come back in the second half against these type of teams. So I agree with Dan on that. Obviously not about the red card, but yeah, I just think even if we had got sent off, Maddison had got sent off at 1-1, they were playing a much better football. We come into the second half, I thought we would have lost there today, but we take the 3 points. You take any result you can with obviously the red card going in our favour today, and you move on. And we're in 4th, and we put ourselves in a good position for not only European football, Champions League football, 11 points off at the top of the table, which at the start of the season, nobody gave us credit for or said we'd be even near. So it's a decent start, but it's a thing where Spurs have got to continue with this and move into next season on an upward trajectory. Otherwise, we'll just fall behind. But
to be fair, when we play the bigger teams, sorry, Alan, like Liverpool's, the ones that give us more, like come at us rather than sit in more of a block, we tend to play better. So you've got to look at it from that perspective. But what I will say about Yates is, yes, it was a red card, but Yates actually asked the ref to give him a red card, which is an immediate yellow card. So he would have been sent off as well. So it would have been 10 versus 10 had it gone the right way, because he asked the ref for a card. And apparently, according to Sky, that is an immediate yellow card. He'd already been booked. How he stayed on that pitch for the whole 90 minutes, I've no clue. Or however
That's
long
another rule I don't agree with.
But anyway, it is what it is. But I do think we do raise our game against the teams that come at us rather than the ones that sit in a block. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to the Arsenal game, as are you, Alan. So let's hope that we at least give them a good game.
There's a curveball there, so I'll talk about it later.
I will say this. Van der Ven's goal today was special. Yeah. Very, very special, that goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not just his strike. It's not just his strike. Like the play, like the team connection in general, the link up, bro. We're like the passes, that was Ange ball. And Van der Ven today was like very good in general. I will say though, for the first goal, I think Van der Ven was at fault, partly. Jumped.
No,
for the first goal we conceded, he jumped in completely. He shouldn't have
Dan, the ball down the line, Udoji's been so sloppy and poor. He's been caught out of position and he hasn't even attempted to get back. Then Van der Ven, Romero, and Porro have had to come across to obviously counteract what's happened there. But Bissouma has dropped back at half pace, isn't even in the right position as a defensive midfielder to help out, and literally it's just been a reaction from the poorness poor defensive display from Doji, and then obviously Bissouma not getting back and covering. So yes, you can say Van der Ven, Romero, and Porro not getting there quick enough are factors as well. But it started with Doji, was compounded by Bissouma, and then obviously the others couldn't get past. But it's not just Van der Ven's fault for that goal today.
That's why I said it was partly his fault. I just think that he dived in a little bit. He just dived in a little bit too much. Overall, though, I think his performance was amazing.
He's been good most of the season. Winter Surfer, playing the worst team in the league. You're winning with a few minutes to go, and you throw it away. Talk to me.
I didn't think this. I can say anything more about this guy that's in charge of my team. He went with a 3-5-2 today, playing Gallagher on the left wing to start with, and Palmer in the middle. He then played for a 2-1 win away at Sheffield United from the 70th minute onwards by taking off Palmer and then taking off Madueke. Good man management, taking off the guy who just scored. He's got a load of confidence. Well done, Poch. He then, after that sub, he moved Gallagher to the right for some reason. After him on the left all game. And then he made 2 substitutions when we had 2 minutes left of injury time, messing up the defense, whatever the defensive structure was. And then we can see, he's outdoing himself by saying, that Burnley result a week ago? I'm going to show you something. I've got the Sheffield United one in my bag for you right here. Hold my beer.
I'm sorry to start. I'm sorry, but I don't get me wrong. I don't think Poch is good enough for this team. Similar to Tim Hag at United, I think maybe it's time for both of them to go. But at what point do we say Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, the players on the field? When do we start?
Enzo Fernandez was fine today, bro. I don't know what you're talking
about. I don't get why you're speaking about Enzo today. Enzo was fine today. It's a script at this stage now, isn't it? It's a script.
I'm not biased. I don't know. I am not biased. I see how it is.
First of all,
Enzo wasn't a problem today, though. I don't get your point why you're even mentioning him. And Caicedo, that wasn't the problem today. That wasn't a problem. We had the majority of the ball.
Hang on, let me jump in for a minute. Explain what you're saying, then you guys can rebuttal it. Just let him finish his point, please, and then we'll throw you guys back in. Why did you think Enzo was a problem today?
That's the problem.
Do it without mentioning the prayer transfer fee as well, if you can do it as well.
Okay, we're going with that. Enzo Fernandez was bought there with Caicedo to control that midfield. I do not feel when I watch Enzo Fernandez, I don't feel he's controlling the games. I don't feel he's playing the role that he should be playing in the team. He has moments. He's had a few good games. So did Di Maria when he first came to United. Don't get me wrong there. And I do think he's a good player, but it might not work in the Premier League. It might not work with Chelsea. Again, and you could be right. Don't get me wrong. The setup might be wrong for him. Maybe he needs new management, but he should be doing more. I just feel he should be doing
what did Enzo do wrong today? And what would you expect for Enzo to do today in today's setup?
Again, I know he's in midfield. I get it. He's in midfield. He's not a striker. He's not a defender. He's not going to make tackles and headers and get goals and so forth. But again, I didn't feel Chelsea controlled the game well enough with him in the team. That's all I'm saying.
We had majority of the ball though. So surely if we're not controlling the game, Sheffield would have had most of the ball.
United have the ball a lot of times in games this season, but again, we don't control the games. You have the ball, but you don't control the game. Again, the game.
No. I can't lie to you, Fires, yeah, bro. You're waffling, respectfully, yeah. We had majority of the ball today. The problem was our creativity today, right?
You did say respectfully.
And a big part of that, yeah, it was how we were set up. Do you know what I'm saying? Palmer today was poor. He still managed to get an assist for Madueke, but on that left hand side, I was literally tweeting it, watching the game. It was like a diamond. We was keeping the ball, was popping it about. That's why when you're talking about Enzo Fernandez, I'm thinking, what do you mean Enzo Fernandez? He was moving the ball about in the midfield, but again, we were lacking creativity. Our XG this game 0.35, something ridiculous like that. And today it's not on Gallagher. Gallagher doesn't pick where to play. It's the manager that puts him there. Right, he put him on left wing. He's not a winger. Yeah, all he was doing on that side was basically helping us keep the ball. But Sheffield are just sitting back. So where's the attack? Where's the attack?
Where I disagree with you, disagree with you guys. I agree that Enzo was fine, but fine ain't good enough. This man is a central midfielder, and he's not, as you just said, there's almost zero creativity from him today. He lost the ball 23 times. And about 16 of them were unforced errors because it wasn't like you guys were being pressed. It wasn't like you guys. So I understand KDB losing it a lot because he's around the edge of the box and it's crosses and through balls trying to score. And all high level creative players lose the ball anywhere between 18 to 25 times per game. But Enzo isn't creating chances. He's barely breaking lines. He lost possession 23 times in the match. I only checked that statistic because I saw him lose it so often. And I just thought to myself, you're up against the worst team in the league. Yeah, there are some nice moments because he passes the eye test. But outside of that, he's not creating chances. He's not protecting you when you're out of possession because you are vulnerable through the middle and on the wings when it comes to it. He loses the ball far too regularly without pressure. So I think you're right to say he was fine. He was probably a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10. But surely you should be expecting more. I'm not going to mention his price tag, but from a player of his quality, you should be expecting more than losing it 23 times, not creating chances, and not stopping, not being a key component in stopping Sheffield United from attacking you, Don.
The point that I'm making, Terry, is I'm not saying that these men were world class today. I'm not one saying that. All I'm saying is overall, the team wasn't playing the best that it could because the shape and the structure that it was in, right? Gallagher on that side doesn't work. Like Andrew said already, he played him left wing and then he moved him right wing. Yeah, it wasn't fluid today. Palmer was even worse. I don't know why you're trying to pick out Enzo. If you want to talk about anyone underperforming today, it was Palmer. Palmer was poor today.
Okay, but the reason why
hold on, Terry.
Sorry, Don. But the reason why people
and a lot of the chances when you say that Enzo's giving the ball away, let me finish my point. When you talk about Enzo losing the ball, a lot of the time it's him trying to make something happen. When you actually watch how he's losing the ball, you're moving like he gets the ball and he can't pass it to the person next to him. That's what you're acting like, and that's disingenuous. When you see Enzo getting the ball, most of the time he's trying to make something happen.
You're trying to make something happen, fine. But he didn't make anything happen. So if your job is to make something happen and you don't make something happen, you didn't have a good game. Equally, ground duels. He attempted 5 ground duels today, lost all of them. He lost half of his aerial duels today.
So we lost the game because of Enzo. What's your point, Terry? We lost the game because of Enzo. Is that what you're saying?
My point is, you're out here defending Enzo, and
we didn't bring him up. You guys brought him up. We didn't bring him up. You guys did.
Enzo.
It's a script at this point. It's just a script at this point. We lost the game because of Enzo.
Hang on a minute. How is it a script where I'm giving you factual information about what I saw and what the statistics back up from this game? That is not a script. It was brought up because Fayez thinks, yes, Poch is to blame, but some of your star players need to be discussed. You lot are defending him, but he gave the ball away. He didn't create. He was very poor in the defensive attributes, as we've seen with his ground drills. What did he do that made him okay for you today?
But that wasn't the person that I was going to speak about. It's you guys that brought him up.
Yeah, but you defended.
I didn't bring him up as the person that was a key player today.
No, that's irrelevant. But you defended him. Fayez is saying that for a player of his quality, he hasn't delivered today. You and Andrew jumped straight in with he was not really good. He was good for us today. He weren't a problem. I disagree. I've shown you why. Lack of maintaining possession, lack of creativity, poor in his defensive work.
You actually put through a couple of nice balls in the second half. We just didn't capitalize on them. That's what happened.
What? Listen, I don't know. Like what I watched today was our players keeping the ball, popping it about between them in that midfield, but they were lacking consistent patterns up top is what I was watching today. I didn't watch a midfield that was struggling to control the game because, like I said, we had majority of the ball. We weren't doing much with it. The main problem that I had a problem with today was our structure and how we were set up. Right, like Andrew has said, he decided to take off the attackers. I didn't look at the game today and think it was ping pong football. You guys literally hear me talk about ping pong football every single week because we're lacking control. Our midfield wasn't a problem today. It was our attack. That was what the problem was, and it was very clear because, like I said, we weren't creating nothing. It reminded me of the game when we played Sheffield at home. And in the first half, Andrew, remember that the XG in the first half? It was shocking, bro. And in the second half, Palmer had to turn up and save us again. So the point that I'm saying when I'm defending Enzo is because I don't think our midfield was the issue today. I think the setup was the main problem because, like I said, it didn't allow us to play well and create the sort of chances that we needed to create.
Yeah,
you're playing Sheffield though. You're playing Sheffield though. You're playing Sheffield though. Like, what are you saying, bro? Like, whatever setup.
I'm saying that we weren't set up correctly to play against that low block. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, the quality of players that you have in your team are good enough, regardless of the setup, to go and up against.
You said they're worse than Brighton. Listen,
I said expect much from them. Listen, hey Don, when you're speaking, I was quiet. So be quiet. Let me finish what I'm saying. When you speak, people keep quiet. So when they're speaking, let them speak. When they finish, then you can jump in. Don't jump down my throat. I'm simply saying the quality of the individual players that you have, each one of them, quality-wise, are good enough in whatever setup that they're put in to go against the Sheffield, regardless of how terrible you think Poch set them up. Are you telling me that in that midfield, you don't think that Enzo's quality and Caicedo's quality is good enough to say, look, we need to break down this Sheffield team and put 2-3 goals past them? At this point, let's get it done. When is it that you're going to put some blame on your players to say, listen, when are you going to take things by the scruff of the neck? Palmer does it all the time for you. And the day he doesn't do it, you guys say he's bad. Because Palmer, Palmer, yeah, he was. I'm saying, but he's
no penalty, no party.
He's the one who takes things by the scruff of the neck and tries to make something happen. And the day he doesn't do it, you say he's poor. But what about your other players? And that's why
that's the problem. Listen, that's the problem. We're individual team. We're one-man team, bro.
Let me finish. People call out Enzo because they believe that he's got quality. Not forget the price. They believe he's got quality. So when they don't see him performing, people call him out. People call out Caicedo because they believe he's got quality. When they don't see him performing, they call him out. People call out certain players in your team because they believe that they have quality. I'm not going to call out. You guys blame Gallagher for a lot of things, and I'm like, he's not even the.
No one's blaming Gallagher today.
No. I'm saying not today. I'm saying generally, and he's not even one of the best players on your squad. I'm like, you're not even talking about the guys who are literally some of who we believe have quality. Like, you don't blame those guys, and those guys they bring you nothing. They give you guys nothing. That's why we call Enzo out.
I hear that, Dio. I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear what you're saying. Yes, we expect more from these players. No one disagrees with the overarching point that you're making. But what I'm saying is the structure. The structure is what I was looking at. Like I said, I spoke about it in the first half. I literally tweeted it, bro. Saying we need to take Gallagher off at half time. He took off our attackers. Like you've said, yeah, we was playing against a low block, right? They were just sitting back. Yeah, we had to have, and even when we went up 2-1, instead of just getting them by the neck and squeezing them and going for the kill, like what most teams do against Sheffield, he decided to just reserve and sit back, and that's the problem. That's why I've got to look at the manager. But I agree with you. That
element you're spot on about. And I know you beat Man United, right? And looking back at it now, you know, we all know it was lucky either way. But he did the same thing in that game. You needed 2 goals, and he made all these defensive changes, and you caught life because of a mistake by Man United, and then a secondary mistake by us attacking after that point. If we would have just carried on playing how we were, you wouldn't have won. And today, we did it a little bit against Liverpool. Just that element, I think, is on Poch. Those negative substitutions are such an encouragement to your opponents to let's go at them now, because there's not much left on the pitch that's dangerous.
Sheffield United brought on Cameron Archer for Trusty late in that game, an attacker for a defender.
I didn't even give my take on the game, because I was going to criticize guys like Badiashile when you speak about the players. Yeah, why we're not talking about them, bro? Badiashile came on just before that set piece. The guy's about 6'3", 6'4", and he struggles to time his jumps. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to these aerial duels, it's not just about your height; it's about how you time the jump. And once again, defensively, he's been poor. You know, he comes on and it's a shit show. You know, and then they score, like I said, literally just before the game, before the ref blows for full time. So these men don't go off scot free. But I'm just saying that the platform that these men are trying to build from, it just doesn't allow them to play that well. And it's not like I'm only saying this today. I've been saying this for weeks, bro, for months, in fact, about how we play.
So just one small question here. Enzo Fernandez, I'm seriously here. I'm not judging. I'm seriously asking a question here. Other than those first few games he played at Chelsea, how do you know he's such a great player? I'm just curious about that. What's your opinion about that?
I don't think he's a great player. I think he's a good player. From what I saw last season, I was impressed. I said this is the guy that can definitely become world class at Chelsea. But I just think he's in a really flawed system. When he's played incorrectly. Say again.
So it's more about the potential than actual, like, right now.
Yeah. I think for now it's just a good player and he can become world class. Any Chelsea fans that tell CB is world class and that, they're just doing too much. I don't think he's world class yet.
I hear that a lot. He's world class. He's amazing. The World Cup and so forth.
Nah.
I hear that a lot.
Nah. He's not, bro. I didn't even watch him at Benfica. The guy's barely a season pro. I barely watched him.
When the Surfer, I know there were certain Chelsea fans, you know, sort of the ones, you know, and some rivals like Hussein, sort of back Poch guys that were buzzing that were buzzing on Friday after that comeback.
Yeah.
You had 6 shots against Sheffield United. How is there a debate happening that he deserves another season, this manager? Because although there are some individuals that need to be called out, because I still think top class players can. We saw Mainu today in an awful system. He still stepped up and he did something, right? Bruno, awful in the system, but he still regularly steps up and does something. How is there a conversation about Poch, though, staying beyond this season when you struggle? Yes, you had a lot of the ball, but you did nothing with it against the worst team in the league.
I don't know. You'd have to ask them and see what medication they're not taking, to see what the issue is. I'll say this, Terry, as well. Terry, we are 2 goals away from equaling Frank Lampard's goals conceded in his first season, which is 54. We're 2 goals away from equaling that as well. This guy has not. I don't care what anyone says. I don't think he's improved anyone. I think Cole Palmer's performing in spite of him. I think players that you think are playing well are performing in spite of him. I also think because it's not. I think the players are playing for him, but they're carrying out his instructions to a T. But his instructions are rubbish.
Too obedient.
They're just rubbish. They're carrying it out. You saw that when they celebrated that Cole Palmer goal, you saw them all go over to Poch, which means they like him. But there's no one in the team that's got the cojones to stand up, or a few people to stand up against this manager and say, no, we're going to do it this way, or even do it on the pitch. There's nothing on there whatsoever. He's a coward. Like you said, he was playing for a 3-2 defeat on Thursday when he done that double defensive sub with Gilchrist and Chalobah. And today he was playing for a 2-1 win. There's no tactics whatsoever. I don't know what they do in training whatsoever, even if he does it. There's no improvement. He is arguably the worst Chelsea manager in 30 years because of what I've expected of him. He's the worst. He's worse than Frank Lampard because I didn't expect anything from Lampard. He's worse than Potter because Potter's stepping up to a big job. This guy is the last of the dinosaurs in world football in terms of coaching. And he's not even that old to begin with. He doesn't evolve. He's still bringing 2018-19 tactics to 2024. I mean,
these are Poch's comments.
I have no idea. You asked the Chelsea. I'd really want to know, and I wouldn't interrupt them. If you put a Chelsea fan on, still backing Poch, and if they didn't mention and they couldn't mention anything about the ownership, just about what he's done on the pitch, why to keep Poch next season? That's what I want to know. Because I don't think they'd be able to find him.
Huh? And they'll start. It's magic.
It's magic.
They'll start telling you about his time at Spurs. They'll start telling you about his time at Spurs.
These are Poch's comments he's just come out with. He says, at 52, you identify really quickly whether the team is ready to compete or not. Maybe this group are not mature enough to compete in games every 3 days. It's a new team, and there's still a lot to learn about their profiles. The process always takes time.
No, the P word. The P word.
You know what's so mad about this, bro? When he came into the club, remember that interview that he did? He was sitting there with the tracksuit on. He was talking about, I know we're in a young project, but Chelsea, you must win now. He came with all the big talk, basically saying, listen, I've got a point to prove, and we know where it is right now. We need to win games, but there's a massive expectation here. We spend a lot of money, but now he's backtracking on that. He's throwing all of these lot under the bus. I said the other day, a lot of these players right now are B team players. They shouldn't be starting for us. But even so, he's got a job to do in terms of setting them up, right? And he's basically said, Terry, that line. What was that line that you read there where he said about we were trying to work out their profile, something along the lines of that. That's him basically.
Teams.
Yeah, that's basically him admitting that he doesn't know how to use this team. I remember I've been saying to you, I think De Zerbi knows how to use this players. He doesn't.
Don, you've got to be sympathetic to this guy. It's not as if he's only had one game a week for most of the season to work out a player's formation, and he changes another formation in the 30th game of the season to 3-5-2. They've hardly played. It's not as if he would do something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy, Terry. This guy's comments after games are more exciting than his tactics. His comments after games.
The thing is as well, though, a lot of people will drill the comparison to Arteta, and they'll say, but it took Arteta X amount of time. But there is a key component that they conveniently leave out. That this is Arteta's first job.
Yes.
And I think if Arteta had even the experience that he has now at the beginning of his Arsenal career, I think those first 2 years would have been smoother, and I think they'd be where they are now slightly quicker. Because you don't know, in life, I don't know what you guys have all done for a job. You can think you know how to move up to the next level, but it's not until you're in that role. Even if you cover that role, it's a different pressure. When you suddenly move into it, you suddenly realize, damn, everything's on me. So that's the problem when you've got a manager like him who's 52 years of age, what should be managing 15 plus years. You don't get the same time because you've got the experience. You shouldn't be making the mistakes. And what do you mean by profiles? You've been there the best part of a year. How do you not know? I think of a manager after 2 or 3 months doesn't know his best 11, generally speaking, that is just a major red flag. It really is. We have some super chats here I want to do. This one's not going to go down very well with Don, though. It says, Terry, there's actually Chelsea fans who made a video on YouTube basically hyping up Palmer to be in the next Ozil. Imagine the delusion.
I don't know who's doing that. You see, these are the same people that say Enzo's world class. Don't put me in the same category as them, please.
Only about Mudryk and Martinelli. These
are the same people that think Mohamed Mudryk's better than Martinelli. I know it's true, bruv. It's true. Also, Don, hang on, Don. I am going to call you out a bit here, though. You did say on Friday on the squad that there are people, non-Chelsea fans, that go to Stamford Bridge and buy tickets just to watch Cole Palmer play.
I didn't say that. I said my boy who's a United fan was at the game when we played Arsenal at the Bridge, and when we came out after, he was waxing lyrical about Cole Palmer.
But did he go there to watch Cole Palmer?
No, he didn't go there to watch Cole Palmer, but he liked how he played. I said the point I was making.
No, I get that, but you said people go to. But you did say people go to Stamford Bridge to watch Cole Palmer. You definitely said that. I was there.
You did.
Wait, what was the tone as well?
Yeah, hold on. Of course, people are gonna go watch Cole Palmer.
Terry, what else have they got to watch?
I didn't say my boy went to go watch Cole Palmer. Yeah, bro, we're shit right now. Why would they not go watch our best player?
like I say, I don't think, Don. I think there are very few rivals.
I never said rivals.
Well, but okay, I'm using rivals as an example. You understand why? I think there are very few rivals that are waking up going, do you know what? I'm going to go to Stamford Bridge today to watch Cole Palmer.
You're twisting my words, though. I never said rivals once.
No, I'm not. Let me finish my point, Don. Listen to understand. I'm doing a dio here. Because rivals doing that, if rivals were doing it, that'd make a bit of sense. I don't believe there's a Chelsea fan in the world who is going to the ground just to see Cole Palmer play. They're going to hope that Chelsea win. I agree that if Messi suddenly signed for a team, random people that have never been to watch that club would go because Messi's there. Cole Palmer's not there yet.
I can't lie, Terry.
I can't put together like 2 reasons.
There isn't a sane Chelsea fan right now that's watching us week in, week out and wants to go watch this team. I'm sorry. Yeah. And it's not easy to go get tickets. Yeah. It's not easy to go get tickets. The only reason why I'm at games a lot, I ain't got a season ticket, is because I know people. Other than that, it's very hard to get tickets.
But you did say that, Don. You did say people go to watch him.
Yeah, I did say that because it's true. People
he's
do go
not
watch
gone
him.
Out he's cold.
No, again,
why have you guys got to be so polarized? Hold on, no, let me
Don, just stop a second.
No, we're not stop.
No, Don, we're not trying to stop it. I'm being specific. I want to be very specific about this. I don't believe, and you can disagree with me if you want, that people specifically go just to watch Palmer. I agree that people go to watch Chelsea and are excited about watching Cole Palmer there. That's different from going purely to watch Cole Palmer.
You see, you're doing it. You're taking everything so literally, Terry. Why would a Chelsea fan only want to go watch Cole Palmer, not see the team do something? Come on now.
Because
you're just being disingenuous.
No, I'm not being disingenuous. Because your point on the show was there are players out there like Messi's and so that people turn up just to watch that player.
And you said rivals. I never said rivals.
Okay. The reason I'm saying rivals is big. Hang on. Because I don't think if you signed Messi, Chelsea fans would be going specifically to watch Messi. They'd be going to watch Chelsea win. So the only people that would go to a Chelsea game, to not watch Chelsea win and to watch a player would be a rival. No Chelsea fan goes with a player over a club agenda.
But we're shit right now, Terry. We are, bro. I'm telling you right now, there is so many people giving up their tickets right now. Bro. There's a lot of people giving up their tickets right now.
This is where I'm confused. So you are saying that people go specifically to watch Cole Palmer or not? I'm confused.
Yes, because that's the only thing that's giving a little bit of excitement. But at the same time, you're gonna want to go see your team win, right? You're gonna want to see your team win as well.
You're trying to serve.
You're twisting what I'm saying. My point is
the main dish as an appetizer, and it's really an appetizer to the main dish. That's what it is. You're trying to give people garlic bread when they came for the spaghetti, not just the garlic. That's what it is.
We're going to get back to some more super chats here because there's quite a lot of them to get through. This here says Maddison did nothing wrong. Plus, Jamie Redknapp said it. Yeah, I don't care what Jamie Redknapp said.
Yeah.
Already done that super chat as well. By the way, already done that one too. Arsenal be called bottle if not winning the league now. I mean, I wouldn't. You can call them. Listen, Arsenal are going to be called bottle jobs.
Until proven otherwise.
Let me say this right. If Arsenal goes on to win all their 7 games, Liverpool go on to win all their 7 games, and let's say Liverpool win every game by 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, catch up to Arsenal's goals difference, blow us out of the water, and let's just say for some reason Man City do the same thing, and Arsenal lose the league by 1 goal difference, they'll still call us bottle jobs because they have no more banter. They're really trying to find something. That's all it is at this point.
I mean,
I'm saying regardless of the outcome, because here's what you guys don't understand. When you were talking about Arteta earlier, Arteta, December 19th this year, will make it his 5th year at Arsenal and his 5th year as a senior coach. In those, right now, he's 4.5 years into the job, and 2.5 of those years, 2 years out of those 4.5, he's challenged for the title. He's 50% of his career as a senior coach. He's challenged for the title twice. How many coaches can say that?
Okay, but there's
So my point is
I will say this: Arsenal can only bottle it now.
If they go on,
I'll only take that claim if people genuinely believe they're going to win it. You can't say City the favourites.
Terry, come on.
No, Dan. This is
you don't know how many Arsenal fans are saying.
Dan, I'm trying to teach you how to banter properly. Listen. and learn, young man. If you say no, you can have it. It will not hit.
Go on.
If you say Liverpool and City are favourites over Arsenal, and then you try and come at the end of May with banter going, you bottled it, it won't land because you said they were third favourites. What you have to do, Dan, just stop a minute. If you want this joke to work, if you want to really get them for being bottle jobs, even if you don't believe they're going to win the league, you've got to start telling them they're the best and they're going to do it. Help build that up. And then when it goes wrong, then the joke works.
Serve them the Kool-Aid.
That would make... I've got it right here.
That's the only way banter works.
But Terry, listen, what you're saying is true. If the fan base was in Arsenal, where they are constantly going on, we're gonna win the league. We're the best team in the world. We're gonna win the league. It's ours. It's our title. We're gonna win the league.
But you don't believe it.
And then they bottle it. Then
No. But you don't believe it,
Daniel. But do you believe they're winning the league?
No, I don't think they will.
So how do we bottle it then?
So you don't believe they can bottle it then? Because you don't believe they're going to win it.
But they're in a position that they should. They're in a position that they should because they're top of the league on goal difference. They're in a position that they should because they're top of the league on goal difference.
1 second. I've got to back down to a point in this aspect. Look, for me at the moment, the way Arsenal playing, I think they're the best team in the league. They're playing the best football. For me at the moment, you would say they are favourites. History in recent years for Arsenal would say that they would flake out towards the end and bottle it and become weak like they have done. But Dan's correct here. Spurs are labelled bottle jobs galore. When even the era of Poch, when were Spurs ever considered the favourites to win any Premier League or Champions League final? But all the time we get called bottle jobs, and we've never been. No, Terry, we've never been favourites.
I can answer that question. I can answer that question. I can answer the question.
So can I.
I can answer that question for you. With Spurs, you get called bottle jobs because every time you come to a gateway moment, a big semi or a big final or a big game in a title race, you bottle that game. So it's very rarely in the last 30 years do you get over the line when there's an opportunity for silverware, greatness, or success. Now, that element, if that's what you're going to call, if you're going to say, I think Arsenal could win it, but I think they'll collapse from here, that's also a fair claim. If your view is, Dan, I think they're going to finish 5-10 points off the top from here, they're going to bottle it, then fair enough. But then if they finish 1 point off top, you can't say they bottled it either. So however you set up your premise around Arsenal's end of the season, you can't sit there and say you're going to finish 10 points off top. And if they finish 1 point off the top, then say they bottled it because they did better than you said. So your banter becomes obsolete. You've got to learn to you've got to sort of learn when to do it and when not to is all I'm saying. Otherwise, it don't hit.
Don't play poker yet, Dan.
I think they'll finish around second. I don't think it's going to be that far off, but I think they're not going to win the league, and they keep waxing lyrical about how they're going to win the league. They're the best team in the world. Well, that's why I laugh at them. That's why I laugh at them.
Dan, if you think Arsenal is going to be second, right, then you can't call us bottle jobs because you don't think we're going to win anyways. You can't. I'm saying, no, hear me out. Arsenal fans who think Arsenal will win the league, if Arsenal fails to win the league, can call their team a bottle job because they expected their team to win. You already said, I don't think you're going to win. So what are we bottling in your books? Okay. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, do you understand the difference now? Do you understand the difference?
I don't think the thing is they should win the league because right now they're playing as the best team in the league. The reason I think they're not going to win the league is because they're serial bottle jobs. That's the reason, because they always collapse at the end. Like last season, that's why I think they're not going to win the league this season. So, by definition, they are bottle jobs in the way that I'm seeing.
By that explanation, Daniel, that explanation that one makes sense. I agree with that one. That one makes sense. But this idea that you think they're third favourites and if they don't win it, you'll call them bottle jobs. That didn't make sense to me. What you just said there makes a lot more sense. Let's get through some more of these super chats. This one says... Arsenal fans just responding to what I heard on commentary. So do they even know the rules? Maddison should have seen red.
Yeah, he is an Arsenal fan. Just responding.
Yeah, that's what he means. Yeah, everyone there, barring Dan, they said it's a red card, but fair play. Spurs kid is too young to remember that, but no one of the most notorious Reds in Premier League is Vieira for kicking out and not connecting with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Lashing out at an opponent is always a red. Yeah, Paul Scholes did it. Paul Scholes threw a sort of half punch, half slap at Alonso in a Man United Liverpool game. Missed him, but still saw red. Absolutely. You don't even need to make contact. That's absolutely correct. Dan keeps saying Spurs have a better 11 than Arsenal. I can't let it go. It's ridiculous. Surely he knows it's not true. Anyone agree with him? Does anyone on the panel agree that Liverpool Spurs' best 11 is better than Arsenal's best 11.
Wait, but everybody says no. But then, what player from my combined 11 do you think should be swapped out?
Dan, I think that your first 11 is only better than our first 11 when it rains. So,
but seriously, my combined 11. Who do you think?
Again, this is what I would say. Raya goes in over Vicario.
I disagree, but yeah.
No, so I think Vicario over Raya.
Vicario has been good, but I'm just looking at the man who is going to be the Golden Glove winner this year, as an example.
Okay.
And he is part of that. The right back, Ben White's been one of the best right backs in the league this year, and he's part of a phenomenal defense. You have to go with their two centre backs because it's the best centre back pairing in the country. Look at their record. I'd give you the left back, okay, Adogi. So
he walks in
of the first 5 players, they've got 4 versus your 1. In midfield, Declan Rice is in that midfield and Odegaard is in that midfield without a doubt. And then I think earlier on in the season, I would have gone with Basuma, but let's put Maddison in there because I think he's been really good, even though functionality-wise it doesn't work. So you've got 2. And then up front, you're going with Bukayo Saka on the right as an example.
Yes.
Son up front.
The left, I'm going with Martinelli. And then, do you know what? I would put Son as a striker, right? Yes. Because he's had a very, very good season. You're talking 3, maybe 4 Spurs players get into Arsenal's first team.
Here's where I disagree. The fact that you put 2 10s, I don't understand. I would put Maddison and Bentancur into that midfield because this is me talking in terms of players with individual quality, not with the way that the teams have played.
So, again, hang on a minute. So who are you taking out for Bentancur?
Because the thing is that
Odegaard, you're taking out Odegaard. There's no way. There's no way.
2 10s. Terry, because you put in 2 10s, I think Maddison's better
than
Odegaard.
Then you drop James Maddison, who has not been as good as Odegaard this year over the whole season.
Which Arsenal midfielder is Bentancur better than? No, hold on. Which Arsenal midfielder right now is Bentancur better than? Which of our midfielders?
El Neni.
Okay, Mohamed. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, you can. Yeah, El Neni.
What about
I'm just saying off of quality. I'm just saying off of quality.
No, I'm asking off of quality. I'm asking off of quality. Which Arsenal midfielder is Bentancur better than out of quality? Just pick any of the. You know what? I'll even put in El Neni and some guys from our under 18 if you want me to give you a list of those guys too, like in midfield. Like, what are you saying? If Odegaard and Rice are not in that midfield, the only person I will take from your team is Maddison. Barring his injury. I take because right now you can tell Odegaard even drops deep now. So regardless, I can actually have Declan as a defensive midfielder, Odegaard dropping deep, or Odegaard playing the 8, and then Maddison playing the 10 role. Why not? So this way
in that case, I can play Son on the left. In that case, I can play Son at the left and Richarlison as striker.
But
but you wouldn't have Richarlison. Listen, Kai Havertz gets in as striker over Richarlison this year.
Yes.
Absolute facts. So again, Dan, I know you love your club, brother, but learn what fights to pick. This here says, I don't get this 3 points thing for Spurs. Performance and improvement should be the only thing that matters. What does 3 points get them? Champions League basically assured.
They want to see their team win.
Yeah, I want to see Spurs win every game and finish as high as we possibly can.
Yeah,
it should be both.
I hear that. If Arsenal and Spurs win their next 3 games, St. Tottenham's Day would be celebrated at Spurs' stadium.
Surely Arsenal got bigger fish to fry than St. Tottenham's.
That's between North London clubs. I ain't getting involved.
Had bigger fish to fry last season. Look what happened. Let's be honest. Come on.
Cole Palmer froze today. A better player than Saka can't beat a defender one-on-one. Once in a while, have players like Miguel Almiron and Rashford last season, and this season we have Cole Palmer. Look, I think that's a bit disingenuous to Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer is excellent, but I do think this whole he's better than Saka thing after one season is a little bit too far, but I won't slag the player off in the process. I'm watching Mac 10, Odegaard, etc. dictate games consistently, which Enzo was apparently supposed to do. If Palmer doesn't bow you out, listen, I know the boys have gone now, so I'm not here to defend their player, but I was shocked, like the way they defended him, and they still didn't answer the question. Like, these are all the things he was meant to do today. He ain't done anything well. How is that good? Didn't really get an answer, but they are in pain today. Sheffield United had more shots on goal, more shots on target, more corners, more big chances created, more shots inside the box, more duels won. Our midfield didn't control the game. Stop gaslighting. They had more of the ball, but having more. I learned this as a United fan when Van Gaal was our manager. We would have 60% possession in most games, but we didn't dominate. I got into a fist fight outside Old Trafford with a United fan when I said on the fan cam as we walked away, it kicked off. He said, "How can you say that we didn't dominate when we had most of the ball?" I said, "Just having the ball is irrelevant if you're not doing anything with it." I said I think a lot of our opponents are starting to just let us have the ball because they know we're not a danger with it, and that becomes a problem. And
Terry, we had more ball against Brentford last week when we tied 1-1, and Brentford dominated that game. They could have beat us like 5-6-0, and we had more possession.
Exactly. I love how Don says respectively before schooling someone. I used to do that in the army before calling someone a twat. With all due respect, you're a twat.
All good. All good.
I ain't a Spurs fan by any means, but fans like Kate and Alan are absolutely fantastic for football. Honestly, fans like them make the panel on TFT. Thank you, Gunnar Paul. I'm going to politely disagree. Not with what you've said about Alan and Kate, who are great. I like the fact that everybody is very different. I like the fact that we challenge each other. I like the fact that we argue. I like the fact that there are no echo chambers here. Even if I disagree with someone and we fight, these six will all tell you there's never been a conversation backstage where I say, "You ever challenge me again, you're not coming back on."
He does that every time. Don't listen.
That is what makes a football terrace so beautiful. I want to know what is wrong with Poch's system. Same philosophy he had at Spurs. He made us play brilliantly. Do you know what I would say, Jerome? I think this is part of it. He's trying to do it with a different group of players. Every style becomes dated. Every approach becomes dated and old hat, and you have to think of new ways of doing things. And there's been lots of managers who look like brilliant managers, and you fast forward 10 years and it's gone. If you look at Pep as an example, Pep isn't doing the same thing now as he was 15 years ago. Look at the size of his players physically now compared to the size of his players at Barcelona, because football went through a transformation where you couldn't just have lots of small players. You suddenly then had players that were a couple of stone bigger, a foot taller, that could play in the same way and were quicker and stronger and more powerful. So the smaller players started getting dominated. He evolved, though, because he realized where Wenger, by the way, didn't. Wenger was still trying to do the same thing in 2014, 15, 16 as he was doing in the 90s, and it stopped working. So that's evolution is very important, Jerome. Jerome also here says, if this Chelsea fan base had zero patience at all, you guys know nothing about rebuilds. I think there's some truth in that.
But what I would say to Jerome is, would you take Poch? Nobody is taking Poch at their club. I'm sorry, with what he's doing at Chelsea. And I was going to address the other one, since I watch a lot of just football in general about systems and stuff. I don't know what Poch's system is, because today it was three. There was Cucurella playing winger at times and Madueke wing back, and then it would swap. It was weird. There was no system. There was no consistent system. It was like Gallagher playing left wing, then it was right wing, then it was the Palmer up. Palmer had a hat trick versus Man United on Thursday on the right. Why can't you run the same lineup or something similar? And then Palmer was playing a lot centrally today for Sheffield United, and I don't like him centrally as much as I do on the wing. So that's another thing where it's like. That's why people complain about Poch.
Goldie here says Don opened a can of worms saying Cole Palmer is a better player than Saka. Now we've picked apart every Cole Palmer plays. That's the issue when you start doing that, is that people then do the same thing back. Spurs bottle the league because Dan said they'd win.
I didn't say that. I don't know.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know where.
I said that.
Can I just point out looking for Harry? I mean, he hasn't been on here for a while. I mean, he was the one that's saying about we're going to win the league in October.
Yeah,
I haven't
he said
that. It's okay. Is he hiding? Is he crying? What is he doing? I just haven't seen Harry.
He's back to KJ, because KJ sorts out the panels and the guests, as you all know. I don't think the football terrace is for me, which is code for I spoke a lot, I got cooked, and I don't like it. He basically kicked the bee's nest and he got stung. That's what happened.
Yeah. Can I say something about ghosting, though? Because there's been a lot of allegations going around that when we lose, I don't show up to the football terrace. Terry, I've got a question for you. Where was I last season? Every time we would get thumped? Every weekend.
I'll defend you on this. Dan is every time Dan isn't here, he told me before the game kicks off that he can't make it. So I always say Dan turns up, win, lose, or draw if he's available. I've never seen him say, yes, I'm coming on, and then not come on the terrace. I'll always back you on that, young man, 100%. Are Arsenal favourites, even if they still have the worst running? It's a really good point. I haven't thought. I need to really sit down and think tonight about if I've changed my mind whether Liverpool are favourites or not. If they'd have lost today, I would have maybe gone slightly with Arsenal. But City are only a point or so behind. The running, of course, plays a part in this. Terry Flewers has a picture of the Arsenal crest in his wallet. I mean, you could say, "Oh, listen." All I'm trying to say is this. I'll be honest with you. Banter away, but your banter's got to make sense. Okay, I'm just trying to help young Daniel because what he was first saying sounded very much like, I don't think they're good enough to win it, but I still think they're going to bottle it. That don't make sense. Saying, I think they should win it, but I know they're going to collapse because they always do. That's fine. I'll never challenge that. I might say, why do you think they'll collapse? That's a fair opinion. I was just trying to help him. I don't really care. I do care who wins it. And I do have an Arsenal picture in my wallet until the end of the season. Anything to help stop the four-peat, baby. I'm on loan, baby. That's what we're doing. Look, I want to thank you all very much for coming on. It's been a mad weekend, actually. It's been a crazy one, a busy one. Numbers have been absolutely astronomical on the show. So I want to thank everybody that has tuned in. Check out my new channel, The Squad. Brand new podcast that came out on Friday. We've got another one in the making as well, which is going to be amazing. So go check that out by scanning the QR code or clicking the link in our description below. Go and check out that show. Tomorrow, some content in the morning. I'll be reacting to what people have been saying. I don't know what's going to be on there yet because I don't know what people have said. And of course, top 6 show in the evening. This stream will take you through to it. So go and bookmark it and go get ready for that tomorrow. But to my panel, you're all amazing. Don and Winter Surfer are not here anymore. But thank them for coming on as well. Take care. Goodbye. God bless.